What is MidJourney? A beginner's overview. You will learn how this tool uses artificial intelligence to turn your words into images, where it operates, and what makes it stand out from other AI art platforms. We'll also talk about who's using it, why it's becoming so popular, and the types of videos you can create with it, even if you have never made art before. What is MidJourney? MidJourney is an AI-powered tool that creates images from text prompts. In simpler terms, you type a sentence describing what you want to see, and MidJourney draws it for you instantly. Think of it like describing a dream to someone and they paint it out right in front of you. What's special is that you don't need any drawing skills, design software, or art background. Just your imagination and the right words. Where does it live? Unlike most apps that you download, MidJourney operates through a Discord server. That might sound unfamiliar now, but we'll walk you through how to set it up in the next lecture. For now, just know that it runs in a chat-like environment where you type your prompts and the bot responds with images. How does it work? At its core, MidJourney is trained on a massive number of images and styles. When you describe a scene, let's say a cat wearing sunglasses sitting on a surfboard at sunset, it breaks that sentence down and tries to generate a picture that fits your description. It's a bit like having a very creative assistant who is good at interpreting your ideas and turning them into art in seconds. What makes it unique? MidJourney focuses on artistic style and detail. While other tools like DALL-E or Stable Diffusion also generate images, MidJourney is known for its textured, stylized look. Think of it as more art gallery than stock photo. It also gives you control over the final look, offering variations, remixes, and quality adjustments, which we will explore later in the course. Why is it gaining popularity? MidJourney is becoming popular for several reasons. It's fast and easy to use. Anyone can create high-quality art with minimal effort. Artists, students, designers, and marketers are using it for creative brainstorming, project visuals, social media content, and more. It's not just a toy, it's a creative tool. And once you understand the basics, it's incredibly fun and addictive to use. What can you do with it? Here are just a few things people create with MidJourney: book covers, album art, poster designs, concept sketches for characters and stories, mood boards, unique social media content. Basically, if you can describe it, MidJourney can visualize it. How MidJourney turns prompts into art. Don't worry, no complicated programming, no math. Just a simple, clear explanation that helps you understand how your ideas get turned into stunning visuals. From words to image, what really happens? Let's say you type in a sunset over a futuristic city skyline. Within seconds, MidJourney responds with a visual that reflects your prompt. But what's going on behind the curtain? MidJourney starts by analyzing your prompt, looking at each word and how those words relate to one another. It's not reading your sentence the way a human does. Instead, it's identifying patterns in the language you have used, comparing them to what it's learned from the huge number of images it has been trained on. So, when it sees the word sunset, it draws on thousands of images labeled sunset. When you add futuristic city, it pulls visuals inspiration from what similar words usually look like: glass building, neon lights, flying cars, etc. It doesn't understand your intent in a human way, but it's very good at recognizing associations between words and visuals. The role of style and creativity. Here is the interesting part. MidJourney isn't just copying, it's generating something entirely new every time. Even if two people type the same prompt, the images may turn out different. That's because the tool uses an element of randomness, often referred to as seed values. This adds a layer of creativity and unpredictability to each image. MidJourney is especially focused on style. Compared to some other AI tools, it leans towards more artistic, textured, and emotionally rich images. That's why people use it for projects that need flair book covers, mood boards, and even concept art. Step-by-step breakdown of the process. Let's simplify the process into 3 steps. Interpret the prompt. MidJourney breaks down your sentence into key visual concepts. Match with patterns. It searches its internal library of visual data for patterns that match those words. Generate the image. Using that data, it builds a new image pixel by pixel, often offering multiple variations at once. Each image is a blend of what you asked for and what MidJourney creatively fills in. That's why even vague or imaginative prompts often produce surprisingly beautiful results. What does this mean for you? This means you have power not just in the words you choose, but also in how you combine them. Knowing that MidJourney responds to patterns, contexts, and associations, you can start being more thoughtful with your phrasing. Want a specific vibe? Try words like dreamy, vibrant, or gritty. Want to evoke a particular era? Say Victorian, cyberpunk, or ancient ruins. Want a certain layout? Include wide shot, portrait, or centered. Your choices will shape what MidJourney delivers, and that's the creative part. Setting up your account and joining Discord. Now it's time to roll up our sleeves and get ready to use it. Before you can generate your first image, you need two things: a Discord account and access to the MidJourney server. What is Discord and why does MidJourney use it? Discord is a communication platform that looks a bit like Slack or WhatsApp, but it's built around organized communities called servers. Inside each server are channels, chat rooms where people can send messages, images, or in this case, prompts. MidJourney doesn't use a traditional website or app interface. Instead, everything runs through Discord. You enter prompts by typing them into a special bot channel, and MidJourney responds by posting your generated image right there in the chat. Step 1. Creating a Discord account. To get started, you will just type in here as Discord and click in here. You can click in here. As we have not signed up yet, so we'll just go with sign up, and you can just click in here to register yourself as email as Eduta staff. Display name, let's assume MidJourney with Eduta, and username, let's say Eduta MidJourney, and it is available. And you can just type in here password as, for example, you can just remove this one, choose your own, and type in here as, for example, and choose your date of birth, for example, September 17 and 1997. Click on create account. Save one. Follow the prompts to verify your account. You can use Discord in your browser, but it's smoother if you download the app, Windows, Mac, or mobile. To install the app, you can just click in here and go to store. Search for Discord. Click this one and click on install. For that, you can just click in here. So here you can see the app has been installed, and you can use it by searching in here. So here you can see this is the interface of application of Discord. You just will have to verify your account to start using it. For that, you can just click in here to verify your account. Click on verify email and continue to Discord as email has been verified. And you can just open Discord. And here you can see. Once you're logged in, you will land on a blank dashboard. This is where you can start joining servers, including MidJourney's. Step 2. Joining the MidJourney server. Open a new browser tab. For example, you can just click in here and go to, and you can just start typing here as discord.gg/MidJourney. And this one. And click on this one, MidJourney. Click on accept invite, and you can just click in here. The MidJourney server will now appear in your Discord sidebar on the left, and you can just click in here, and here you can see this is a MidJourney server. Inside the server you will see many channels. Don't worry, we'll explain where to go. Step 3. Navigating the MidJourney server. Here's what to look for. Newbies channels. These are beginner-friendly spaces where you can test prompts. You will see names like Newbies 101, Newbies 102, etc. For example, here you can see Newbies 102, Newbies 123, and Newbies 132 as well. And there are many other rooms as well. Rules and FAQ. These contain helpful guidelines, especially around prompt formatting and usage limits. For example, here you can see these are the rules, and when you just scroll down a bit, you have prompt FAQs. Bot channels. In the Newbies channels, you will interact with MidJourney's bot directly. You will type your prompt using this format. That's it, you are ready to generate. Step 4. Useful tips for a smooth start. Start in a less crowded channel if you can. Some can move fast with lots of users. You may need to scroll a bit to find your result, since many users post at once. Hover over your image result to access options like Upscale, make variations, or save. Your usage is limited if you're using the free trial. Use your prompts wisely. You are now equipped with everything you need to access MidJourney and begin using it confidently. What's a prompt and why it matters? Every image generated in MidJourney starts with one simple thing, a prompt. It's not code or command, it's just a short line of text that describes what you want to see. But that short line can completely shape what MidJourney gives you in return. What is a prompt really? A prompt is the text you type to tell MidJourney what you want to see. It can be a single word, a short phrase, or a detailed sentence. Think of it like giving directions to an artist who doesn't speak your language but can still interpret visuals with incredible precision. For example, a vague prompt, city skyline, but a clear prompt, futuristic city skyline at sunset, neon lights, rainy streets. Both will give you something, but the second one gives MidJourney more to work with, more clues about mood, setting, time of day, and style. Why the prompt matters? MidJourney doesn't think like a human. It doesn't guess what you meant or ask for clarification. It takes your prompt at face value. So, if you are vague, you get vague results. If you are specific, you give the AI something solid to build from. Every word in your prompt adds context. Some words shape the subject, robot, waterfall. Others shape the style, sketch, cyberpunk. Or some influence the tone, peaceful, chaotic. The more purposeful your words, the closer the results will be to your vision. MidJourney is not reading between the lines. It's building based on the blocks you give it. That's why prompt writing is a creative skill in itself. Basic prompt structure. There is no perfect formula, but most effective prompts include a combination of the following. Subject. What do you want the image to show? For example, astronaut, temple, or bird. Environment or setting. Where is it taking place? For example, underwater, forest, or cityscape. Mood or tone. What should it feel like? For example, peaceful, eerie, or energetic. Style or medium. Do you want it to look like a photo, painting, 3D model, or sketch? Details. Colors, lighting, perspective, action, etc. Here's an example. A glowing dragon flying above snow-covered mountains at night. Cinematic style, detailed, soft lighting, fantasy artwork. This is a strong prompt because it tells MidJourney what to draw, what mood to create, what style to follow, and what kind of detail to include. Bad prompts versus better prompts. Here's a quick comparison. Weak prompt could be dog, but a stronger prompt would be a golden retriever puppy sitting in a sunflower field, bright daylight, realistic style. The first one is generic. The other paints a picture. Start with what you want to see. Then add extra words to describe how you want it to look or feel. How to write clear, creative prompts. Even though you're working with an AI, writing a prompt is a creative act. Think of it as a mix between writing a caption, giving instructions, and imagining a scene. And the better you get at this, the better and more personalized your results will be. What makes a prompt clear? Clarity doesn't mean being stiff or robotic. It means being specific enough that MidJourney doesn't have to guess. When you say forest, MidJourney can give you anything from a misty jungle to a cartoon pine forest. But if you say dense pine forest with early morning fog and soft blue lighting, you are leading it somewhere intentional. Clarity means being specific with your subject, adding detail when it matters, lighting, mood, action. Avoid vague terms like nice, awesome, or beautiful unless paired with detail. The clearer your vision, the more MidJourney can match it. What makes a prompt creative? Creativity is what makes your image stand out. It's the fun part, the imaginative twist. You're not just saying dog, you're saying a golden retriever wearing a crown, sitting on a velvet throne, Renaissance painting style. Here's how you can infuse creativity. Combine unexpected ideas. Robot with forest, wizard with skateboard. Use visual or emotional adjectives. Dreamy, chaotic, soft, or glowing. Add action or storytelling. A fox playing violin under a moonlit sky. Mention a visual style or medium. Oil painting, cyberpunk, isometric, or watercolor. You're not just describing an object, you're building a scene or mood with your words. Prompt writing formula. Optional, not a rule. A useful structure to start with: subject plus action or setting, plus mood or lighting, plus style or medium. For example, a girl reading under a glowing tree in a quiet forest. Soft lighting, watercolor style. This gives MidJourney a subject, a scene, a tone, and a visual direction all in one sentence. Clarity and creativity in action. Examples. Let's compare. Too simple would be castle. Better prompt would be medieval stone castle on a hill at sunset. And the creative one would be a floating crystal castle above the clouds, glowing with pink light, fantasy art. Each version improves both the clarity and the creative value. Common mistakes to avoid. Too short or vague. One or two words usually leads to generic results. Overloading with unrelated ideas. Keep the prompt focused. Contradictory descriptions. Dark and bright or minimalist with too many details will confuse the system. Use quotation marks or unnecessary punctuations. MidJourney doesn't need them. Remember, be playful, be clear, and imagine you are giving directions to a visual thinker who is fast but not intuitive. Practice. Generate your first few images. Now it's time to put that knowledge into action. You will learn how to enter a prompt using the /imagine command, how to navigate the image grid you receive, and how to choose between options like upscaling and creating variations. This session is all about experimenting, seeing how your words translate into visuals and learning what works by trying it yourself. Step 1. Opening a MidJourney channel. Open Discord and go to MidJourney server you joined earlier. For example, you can choose any of these. Head into any of the newbies channel. For example, you can go with 162 or you can go to newbies 192 as well, like it's up to you. These are public channels where many users are typing prompts at the same time. Don't worry if the chat seems fast. MidJourney will still respond directly to your prompt and your name will be tagged in the result. Step 2. Using the /imagine command. Click into the message bar and type, for example, click in here and type /imagine prompt. For example, you just write a prompt in here as whimsical autumn teenager boy playing with a ball wearing coat, knitted scarf and boots, whimsical cozy illustration with falling leaves and soft floral background. And you can specify the aspect ratio as well. For that, you can just write in here as AR/3 and press enter. So here you can see this is the prompt that we used in here and this is the result. Once you hit enter, the bot will start processing your request. you will see a waiting to start message, followed by a progress bar. In 30 to 60 seconds, you will get 4 image options. Step 3. Understanding the output. You will see 4 small image variations in a grid. Here you can see. If you give this command to the MidJourney, then you will get this output. Below them, you will find buttons U1 to U4. Upscale the image 1 to 4 for more detail and higher resolution. V1 to V4. Create variations of that image using the same style and structure. Reroll. Start fresh with the same prompt. This is where you begin shaping the image into what you really want. Pick the one that feels closest to your idea and either upscale it or learn variations. Step 4. Saving your image. Once you upscale an image, click on it to open it full size. You can just scroll down a bit. For example, among these, you can just choose this one, click on that. You can right click in here to save the image, or you can just click in here to save the image as well. And you can just click on it and you can just save it where you want it to. For example, click this one and here you can see image has been saved. You can now start collecting your first AI generated images in a folder or personal collection. Tips for this practice session. Use simple prompts first and then gradually add more detail. If something looks off, try using more specific words. Don't expect perfect results. Each image is a starting point. Try experimenting with tone and style, for example surreal, dreamlike, or minimalist. The more you test, the faster you will learn what MidJourney responds well to. From realistic to abstract, trying different styles. The style of your prompt can shift your image from lifelike photograph to a surreal dream painting, or even to something that looks like a comic book panel. Why style matters? When someone sees your image, how it looks often matters just as much as what it shows. The style sets the tone. A street scene in a comic book style feels playful. The same scene rendered in hyper-realistic photography might feel gritty or serious. MidJourney is trained on millions of visuals references from famous paintings to digital art, concept sketches, vintage posters, and more. That means you can call on nearly any style simply by naming it. Common visual styles to explore. Here are a few broad style categories and how to use them in prompts. Realistic. Keywords are photorealistic, high-resolution photo, documentary style, or natural lighting. For example, a city street during golden hour, photorealistic, natural shadows. Use this when you want images to look like real-world photography. Painterly or artistic. Keywords could be oil painting, watercolor, brush strokes, impressionist, or abstract expressionism. For example, a violinist playing under moonlight, watercolor painting, soft edges. These give a textured, handcrafted feel. Surreal and abstract. Keywords could be dreamlike, distorted, Dali style, abstract shapes, or impossible geometry. For example, a floating castle melting into the sky, surrealism, vivid colors. Great for dream scenes, concept art, or symbolic images. Graphic and comic styles. Keywords could be comic book, manga, line art, pop art, or ink drawing. For example, a superhero flying through space, comic book style, bold lines. Perfect for stylized, bold, and colorful creations. Vintage and retro. Keywords could be 1950s style, sepia tone, retro poster, or film noir. For example, a detective in a raincoat under a street lamp, film noir style, grainy texture. How to add style keywords effectively. Place style terms after the main subject in your prompt. Be descriptive but avoid mixing too many unrelated styles. For example, minimalist Baroque cubism. Try adding art movement names. For example, impressionist, Bauhaus, or Art Deco. Use phrases like in the style of or as a medium painting for more clarity. Example comparison. Prompt 1. A forest in autumn. Basic and unpredictable. Prompt 2. A forest in autumn, photorealistic, and National Geographic style. Grounded and sharp. Prompt 3. A forest in autumn, abstract art, vivid brushstrokes, expressive, colorful, and non-literal. Experimenting with style and subject combinations. Mix and match. Try realistic animals in surreal settings. Or take a familiar object and reimagine it through a different lens. For example, a robot in ancient Greek sculpture style. A spaceship drawn in watercolor and pencil sketch. A ballet dancer in cubist abstraction. The more you experiment, the more you will discover MidJourney's artistic flexibility. Using parameters, aspect ratio, quality, and stylize. Think of them as creative things, while your words guide the content and style. Parameters help define the image's size, detail, and artistic intensity. We will learn how to change the aspect ratio to control the shape of your image, how to adjust the quality setting for more or less detail, and how to use the stylize option to make your images more literal or more artistic. These tools give you more control over the final look of your art, helping you match creative vision more precisely. What are parameters in MidJourney? Parameters are added at the end of your prompt, and they always start with 2 dashes. They are not visible in the image, but they change how MidJourney interprets your request. You can use multiple parameters in the same prompt, and each serves a specific function, kind of like changing the settings on a camera before taking a photo. Aspect ratio. The aspect ratio determines the shape of your image, whether it's square, wide, tall, or cinematic. Default 1:1, a square. Popular options 3:2, landscape like a photo. 16:9, widescreen, good for presentations or wallpapers. 2:3, portrait, useful for posters or social media. For example, you just write a prompt in here as /imagine, prompt as female, hazel short, hair, ballerine, and around 20 years old, German women face, wears a silver armor with turquoise leather, portrait, white flat background by Craig Mullins. Visible brush stroke, fantasy painting, and you can just write in here as version 6.1 and aspect ratio AR 2:3 and CRF. And when you just press enter, you will get the result as in here. Here you can see we had given it a command and we just got the result in here. This tells MidJourney, make this scene a portrait one. And when you just close this one and you can just click any of these and you will have different version. And when you just click on any of these and for example you chose this one and you just click on that and this is the final result. Use aspect ratio to match your output to the context you will use it in, whether that's a website header, book cover, or font background. Quality. The quality parameters controls how much rendering power MidJourney uses. Q1 standard or default. Q2 high quality, more detail, slower and uses more resources. Q.5 faster generation, less detail. For example, you just write a prompt in here as /imagine, prompt as a black woman with braided hair is wearing clear futuristic glasses and a silver top. The image is hyper realistic photography with high attention to detail. And you just have to mention the quality. For that, we'll just write double hyphen Q and 2. And for example, the style as well, you can go with double hyphen and S as 750, for example. And when you just press enter and scroll down a bit, and here you can see you get this result, as the black woman is wearing futuristic glasses. And you can choose any of these. For example, you just want to go with this one, click on that, and here you can see this is another version of that. This will prioritize detail and spend more time refining the image. Use higher quality when you are aiming for fine texture and lower quality when you are testing ideas quickly. Stylize. The Stylize parameter controls how artistic MidJourney's interpretation becomes. A higher value gives you more expressive, creative results. Lower values make the image stick closer to the literal meaning of your words. For example, S100 minimal style, S1000 balanced style, S2500 strong style by default, S5000 very stylized. For example, you just write a prompt in here as /imagine prompt as Sigmund Freud photo cinematic illustration, bright light, no background, white background, hyper realistic, highly detailed. And you just mention the parameters as SS 450, version as 5.2, and aspect ratio as 3:2. So here you can see you have mentioned the style as 450. So when you just press enter, you will get this result. As here you can see Sigmund Freud photorealistic cinematic illustration, bright light, no background, white background, hyperrealistic, highly detailed, and with this one as well. If you want to see more versions, you can just scroll down a bit, and here you can see we have 4 different options with 4 different styles, and scroll down a bit if we want to select any of these. And this is another version of that, the command we have just given it to, and you can just open it, and here you can see it is highly detailed. This is another version of that, same prompt, and when you just open this, so here you can see we have a different version of the same prompt as well. You can scroll down a bit, and here is the other one. When you just open it, so here you can see we have 4 different styles as well, and this is the other one. So this is actually the command that we actually given it to. At high stylized levels, expect more dramatic and unexpected artistic choices. Try different stylized settings on the same prompt to explore how much creative freedom you want the AI to take. Combining parameters. You can stack parameters to get very specific. For example, you just write a prompt in here as /imagine and prompt as lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they are in each other all along. And you just mention aspect ratio as AR 16:9 and quality as 2 and style as 3000. And when you just press enter, you can just scroll down a bit, and here you can see this result you get when you just click on that. So here you can see this result you get from this prompt specifically that you have written in here. Here you are telling MidJourney, make the image widescreen, prioritize detail, keep the image artistically expressive but not too wild. This is where your prompt becomes a true creative command. Rerolling, remixing, and refining your art. You will learn how to use features like reroll, variations, upscale, and remix mode, each of which gives you more control over how your ideas evolve, whether you're aiming for precision, artistic variety, or a polished final product. These tools will help you build on your initial prompt and bring your vision into sharper focus. Understanding the grid of 4. When you submit a prompt, MidJourney gives you a grid of 4 small images. Think of these as 4 different drafts, each showing a slightly different interpretation of your prompt. From here, you have several options to continue shaping your art. Reroll, starting over with the same prompt. The reroll button generates a brand new grid using the same prompt. Why would you use it? If none of the images feel right. If you want to explore more directions before choosing. If you like the prompt but want new inspiration. For example, you just write a prompt in here as /imagine and prompt as busy illustration of a delivery truck, a lot of packages by delivering pizzas on bike, a drone flying through the air holding a package, lots of different delivery methods in the illustration. And you just write an aspect ratio as AR and 5:3. So this is the prompt, and when you just hit enter, and when you just scroll down a bit, and here you can see this is the result of this prompt that you have written in here, and this is the result. It gives you 4 different options, but the lighting or composition feels off. Rerolling lets you try again instantly. For example, when you just close this one, and here's the option to reroll that. When you click on this icon, reroll one, MidJourney will try the same prompt again. There is no limit to how many times you can reroll, except what your subscription allows. Variations, fine-tuning a favorite. Under each image, you will see button labels as from V1 to V4 as V1, V2, V3 and V4. This stands for variation on the first, second, third or fourth image. Click one of them tells MidJourney, I like this, make more like it, but with small changes. Variations are useful when one image is close to what you want but not quite. You want the same concept with different angles, colors or layouts. You are developing a series or collection with a consistent style. Each variation becomes its own grid of 4, giving you new options to pick from. Upscale, polish and prepare. The U1 to U4 buttons under the grid allows you to upscale one image. For example, you have buttons like U1, U2, U3 and U4. This does 2 things. Increase the resolution for better detail, expands the image slightly for a more finished look. Use upscale when you are ready to download or share the image. You want to examine details, for example textures, lighting or facial features. You have chosen your final version. After upscaling, you will see additional options like make variations or light upscale redo to refine further without losing resolution. So for example, when you just click on U1 and V1 for this final result of the prompt in here, when you scroll down a bit, this is the final product of this image, as we just wanted to create variation of this one as V1, and this is the final result. So here you can see these are almost similar to this one, ignoring all of these 3. Remix mode. Get creative with edits. Remix mode is a powerful tool that lets you change part of the prompt while generating variations. To enable it, you can just type in here as /setting toggle remix mode on. Now every time you click a variation, you will be able to adjust the prompt before MidJourney creates the next version. Remix is great when you like the layout but want to swap elements. For example, change dog to wolf. You want to test different styles using the same scene. You want to gradually evolve a concept over time. It's like version control. For creativity, you keep the structure, but change the tone, subject, or mood. When to use which tool? You want a fresh start. Reroll. One image is close to perfect. Variation V1 to V4. You're ready to download or polish. Upscale U1 to U4. you want to tweak the prompt midway. Remix mode. The creative process is rarely linear. Use these tools to iterate, refine, and explore. How to upscale and download your images. Now that you have produced visuals you are proud of, it's time to prepare them for real use, whether that's a portfolio, a presentation, or a personal project. You will learn how to make your chosen image sharper and more detailed, how to save it in high resolution, and how to choose between MidJourney's different upscaling options depending on your needs. What does upscaling mean? When you first generate an image in MidJourney, you receive a small grid of 4 low-resolution previews. These are great for quick comparisons but too small or blurry for printing or publishing. Upscaling takes one of those previews and rebuilds it in high resolution. This process adds detail, texture, and sharpness, making the image ready for download, display, or editing. Step by step, how to upscale an image. For example, you just write a prompt in here as /imagine a fun, luxury, modern, sports bar with heavy blue interior and multiple TVs, pops of red, and aspect ratio will be 7:4. And when you just press enter, scroll down a bit, and here you can see this is what MidJourney generates of that prompt. Now choose an image to upscale. For example, when you just this one, below the image click one of the U1 to U4 buttons depending on which image you like best, 1 to 4, left to right, and top to bottom. For example, this one will be the U3 and this one will be U4. For example, you just want a different version of this one, you will press 3. For variation, you just scroll down a bit, and for example it gives you this one. And now you just want to upscale the third one and the same variation with V3 as well for this one. So when you just scroll down a bit, this is what it gives. And now you just want to upscale the third one. You just want to open this one and you just want to go with this one. So when you close this and press U3, and this is what it gives as a final result. When you open this, this is the final product. Explore upscale options. Once the upscale is done, MidJourney offers new buttons. Here you can see you have all these options available like upscale subtle, upscale creative, very subtle, very strong, very region, and zoom out to 2 times, zoom out 1.5, and all of these. What does this mean? Make variations. Generates 4 variations of this upscaled image. Light upscale redo. Enhances the image with a softer touch. Beta upscale redo. An experimental mode with different rendering logic. These options let you fine-tune the upscale based on how much change or detail you want. When to use each upscale option. Standard upscale. General use creates clean, sharp results for most needs. Light upscale redo. When you want to soften textures or avoid over-detailing. Beta upscale redo. When you're exploring artistic or experimental improvements. If your image looks too sharp, too noisy, or too polished, try the light or beta redo to get more natural or balanced finish. How to download your upscaled image. Once your image is upscaled and ready. For example, this one, you just want to download this one. Click the image in Discord to open it in full view. For example, you can just click on that. You can right click the image and save the image from here as well. Or you can just click in here to download the image. When you just click on that, and you can just click on save. And the image has been saved. Images are saved in JPEG format by default and are ready for upload, print, or design tools. File size and resolution tips. Upscaled images are typically 1024 by 1024 or higher, depending on your settings. These files are suitable for websites, social media, and basic printing. For large-scale prints or professional publishing, you might use external tools to upscale further. For most users, MidJourney's upscale is more than enough. Clean, fast, and visually rich. Tips for sharing on social media and portfolios. Creating art is one thing. Sharing it well is another. Whether you're hoping to grow an audience, apply for creative opportunities, or simply express yourself, how you present your images matters. A beautifully generated piece can be overlooked if posted without context or clarity, while a thoughtfully shared word can resonate far and wide. Why presentation matters. Think of your image as the product and your portfolio or post as the packaging. A well-made image can be overlooked if it's poorly framed or shared without context. On the other hand, even a simple piece can attract attention when presented well. Whether you are applying for internships, selling prints, or just growing your online presence, a strong presentation sets you apart. Where to share? Choosing the right platform. Each platform serves a different purpose. Here's the breakdown of the most common ones. Instagram, ideal for visual storytelling, curated galleries, and hashtags. Great for artists and designers. Behance or Dribble, professional platform for design portfolios. Add project descriptions and progress charts. Pinterest, use it to attract traffic to your work and build mood boards. DeviantArt, a large creative community, especially for concept art and fantasy styles. Personal website, great for full control, combine visuals, artist statement, contact info, and blog updates. Choose platforms based on your goals. Want feedback? Use art communities. Want exposure? Use social media. Want a polished archive? Build a site. How to format your work for online sharing. When uploading your images, resolution. Use upscaled versions for sharp, clean visuals. Cropping. Avoid awkward cuts. Use consistent dimensions, especially on Instagram grids. For example, Square or 4:5 for vertical impact. Watermarking. Optional. If you're concerned about unauthorized use, add a subtle signature. Batch posting. If sharing a series, keep style, tone, and layout consistent across the batch. Also consider how your feed looks overall. People don't just see one image, they scroll through your work as a collection. Writing strong captions and descriptions. Good images catch attention. Good captions keep it. Here's what a strong caption can include. Prompt or concept. Share the original idea or a simplified version of your prompt. Mood or story. Add a sentence about the feeling or narrative behind the image. Style or tools. Mention created with MidJourney and optionally the style used, for example watercolor or digital sketch. Call to action. Invite feedback, ask a question, or link to your full gallery. Example. Prompt. A lost city floating above the clouds. Steampunk style. Exploring scale and detail in this piece. What story do you see unfolding here? Hashtag alert, hashtag midjourney, hashtag digital fantasy. Avoid overloading captions with hashtags or jargons. Stay clear, creative, and intentional. Portfolio tips. Going beyond social media. If you're applying for jobs, internships, or freelance work, having a digital portfolio is essential. Here are some tips. Organize by theme or type. For example, concept art, environments, or portraits. Include process notes. Briefly explain what you are trying to achieve. Be selective. Showcase your best work, not everything you have made. Make it easy to navigate. Clear sections, thumbnails, and project titles matter. Include a contact section or resume page. A strong portfolio should not just show that you can create, but that you think creatively and make thoughtful decisions. Common mistakes to avoid. Sharing too soon. Make sure your image is polished before you post. Posting without context. Don't leave people guessing what they are looking at. Using inconsistent formatting. Cropped, blurry, or mismatched images weaken your presentation. Overusing filters or text overlays. Let the image speak for itself, unless it's part of your style. Final project. Create your own AI art collection. Art is most impactful when it comes together as a body of work. A single image can be powerful, but a collection tells a story, shows growth, and reflects your unique perspective. Your task is to move beyond isolated prompts and create a set of images that belong together, whether by theme, mood, style, or concept. You will use everything you have learned so far to plan, design, refine, and present a personal collection of MidJourney art. What is an AI art collection? An AI art collection is a series of related images that share a common thread. They might explore a central idea or narrative, for example, dreams, decay, or rebirth. A visual or stylistic theme, for example, monochrome, neon, or watercolor. A specific subject from different angles, for example, cityscapes, portraits, or nature. An emotional tone, for example, serenity, chaos, or nostalgia. It's not about quantity, it's about cohesion. The pieces should feel like they belong together, even if each stands on its own. Step 1. Choose a theme or concept. Start by answering a few questions. What mood or message do I want to convey? Is there a setting or subject that fascinates me? Can I tell a visual story through a sequence? Write down a short statement describing your theme in 1 to 2 sentences. This will help guide your prompt writing and selection process. Example: a series of surreal dreamscapes exploring isolation and wonder in imaginary cities. Step 2. Plan your prompts strategically. Don't rush. Plan at least 5 to 7 prompts that all connect to your theme. You can vary the subject or scene, but keep the style or tone consistent. Try to use similar aspect ratios and image shapes. Stick to a limited color palette and lighting mood. Incorporate a recurring symbol or setting. Use the same stylized level or art style. Think of yourself as curating a gallery. Each piece adds something new, but supports the bigger picture. Step 3. Generate, refine, and curate. Once you have generated your images, use rerolls, variations, remix, and upscaling to fine-tune. Set aside 1 to 2 extra options in case some don't fit. Compare them together on screen or as thumbnails. Select your final 5 images for submission. Ask yourself, do these feel connected? Is there a flow? Do they reflect your original concept? Step 4. Present your collection professionally. Once you have curated your images, organize them into a final layout. You can create a slide deck or digital poster. Arrange them in a grid with titles or captions. Build a simple online gallery or use a platform like Behance or Canva. Include your project title, your concept statement, and the prompts you used. If you would like, you can also reflect briefly on what you learned during the process.